I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, and Therese Bengtsson. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
Oh, it's a lovely night. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. It's a great pleasure to connect with you. What part of the world are you in right now?
I am actually right now in San Francisco. I just moved here about a month ago.
Ooh, how's the weather there?
It's super hot. It was like getting cold last week, but it's back to it's indie summer. So sweating away.
I've been hearing about the weather in the States. It's really weird right now, isn't it?
It's definitely that weird season, like in between. Like, is it hot? Is it cold? You never know. But yeah, right now it's hot.
All right. Well, and Therese, please do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting.
Well, I assume, since you reached out, that I'm a go-getter. And I've always kind of lived my life that way. Like, if I want something, I make sure that happens. And so right now I'm running my own podcast, Hey Change, and I'm also the co-founder of Role Models Management, which is an ethical model and talent agency on a mission to redefine what it's like to be a model.
Yeah, and it's amazing. So yeah, it's definitely the podcast. So I got the opportunity to listen to that podcast today, and you were having a conversation. I can't remember the name of the person, but she was speaking about the journey she had where it was like a dream, right? Where is it a photographer saw her or a scout? He basically saw her, told her, hey, do you model? And he basically picked her up eventually after she saw his article in a magazine, right? Do you remember? Do you remember the conversation?
Yeah, it was my interview with Dawn Gallagher. She is an ex-supermodel, like one of the most amazing women on this planet. But yeah, she's a cool one. She was scouted when she was 16, and then, this entire world just happened to her. So it's cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, the conversation was pretty great. So you were doing an amazing job on your podcast. Now you speak. Yeah, you're welcome. Who did you learn this skill from?
I've always been a talker, I guess. I like to talk. My mom can vouch for that. She likes to listen. But I was kind of trying to blog for a while, but I realized that I'd much rather just talk. And I was listening to a lot of podcasts myself. And, I set myself out on a mission to start this podcast, and it's been a lot of fun so far. And, I think, as you know, you're talking to and meeting with a lot of inspiring people. So it's just rewarding in itself.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, I could be wrong, but it sounds as though there's a bit of an accent on the tip of your tongue.
No, you're not wrong. I'm from Sweden, and I'm born and raised. So.
Woo,
yeah.
Woo, woo. I'm getting good at this.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking, I could just speak in Swedish, but that would really, cut down my audience to quite a few. Oh. So, this is the best I can do. It's going to be English. It's not going to be perfect, but, who wants to be perfect, right?
Well, no, your English is amazing. I think it's just the twang that I heard. But most definitely, I would suggest, I could be putting my foot in my mouth here, but I would suggest do the both. Do the both. Do a Swedish, and do an English. Yeah, why not, right? Yeah, that would be fun. Well, so you told me who you learned this skill from, right? Did you?
Well, I guess I just kind of learned it myself. And that's usually how I go about things. I want to learn something, and I go on internet and I Google around and I listen to other podcasts and I try to pick up what they're doing and I try it out. Yeah. And as you do, you kind of learn. That's usually what I do with my life.
Interesting. So why will you continue to repeat this skill? Most definitely, you're talking about you're the person that's doing the work to get the work done. And it could be challenging at times. Why will you continue?
Well, yeah, for anyone who doesn't know this, doing a podcast takes a lot of time. So it definitely has to be something that you're enjoying, but I am so far. And I will continue because, like I said, I'm meeting with really inspiring people. And I have listeners reaching out to me and saying that they got inspired by it. And, the name is Hey Change, Finding Happiness in New Realities. And I'm just trying to interview people that have a different way of thinking about things. And maybe we can share our stories and just learn how to embrace change in our lives. Yeah, and as long as I can continue that, I'll do it.
Yeah, love it. So what's the best place, or where's the best place for someone to connect with what you do?
Well, so I have my website, which is heychange.net. Or they can head over to iTunes and, search for Hey Change there, and I should come up. But then also I have my Instagram, which I'm pretty active on, and that's my name, Therese Bengtsson. It's hard to spell, but, I'll it's on my website too, so you can find it there.
Wonderful. All right. So tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Well, I would say I go for a lot of walks, and especially in the morning. And I always put my phone on airplane mode before I go to bed, and I don't turn it back on until after this walk. So I guess I'm giving myself that space every morning to just kind of like land in my own body and prime myself and thinking about what I want the day to be like. And that is something I try to do every day, and it's really helping me to stay focused and stay happy and motivated and, go my own path.
Yeah, how does it make you feel?
Amazing. Like, I feel like in the morning there's some kind of magic that you can touch there. Like before people get up and before the sun is up, it's just this really special moment, and you get to share it with yourself. And I think for anyone who's not doing it right now, who's like the first thing they do is look on their phone in the morning, just try it out, because it's good for your mental health, I think.
Love it. Well, amazing audience. We are live with Therese. Do check her out. She is the podcast host, which is a great title, right? She is the podcast host of
I like
Change.
that.
She's the podcast host of Hey Change, Finding Happiness in New Realities. Well, Therese, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Therese, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Oh, my earliest childhood memory. Oh, I know that one actually. When I was a child, I was really obsessed with this character called Pippi Longstocking. And she's a Swedish character, but I would always wear her clothing and I thought I was her actually when I was a kid. And I think my earliest memories, I was walking in this park with my parents, and we came up to this tree, and we found soda inside the tree. And that was something that Pippi would always do too. And of course, my parents had hid the soda there, but I was just like, on top of the world. That was such a cool moment for me.
Mm-hmm. How old do you think you were?
I was probably like 3 years old or something like that. Very early, yeah.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I think it's clear because looking back, having her as an idol when I was a kid and at such a young age, not saying I've become her, but she was like this, strong, independent, young girl, like not even a woman, she's like a child, but she was strong, and she was always happy and empowering to other people around her and always caring about others. And I think somehow I grew up not becoming something like that. I want to be on my own, and I want to feel strong, but I still want to be around family and feel loved. So maybe that's why that memory is so strong to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yeah, sure, please.
I love the idea that you had a sense of fashion since then, but not a sense of fashion that was futile, if you would. Not something that would just go out of style, right? Pun intended. Like, it was a fashion that actually connected to purpose. That purpose being inspiration. And it is super fascinating to me that is what you're doing now, even with the podcast, right? It's like the magic you're creating to inspire others, right? The soda in the tree, the podcast episode that you can listen to, hopefully to bring that change, right? Even with the stockings, and I'm guessing it was different at that point in time, right? But the fact that you could represent that change and at the same time bring inspiration is super fascinating to me.
Wow, thank you. I haven't even thought about it that way, but I think you're right. And I think a lot of, our early memories and how we live a life in general is really gonna manifest in what kind of people we turn into be.
Yeah.
And the inspirations we acquire in life. So definitely, that's cool. Cool thought.
Yeah. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Wait, 12 years old. I was very into like hip hop at that time.
Right.
Wearing the Tucker hat, whatever. And I guess some kind of 50 Cent song must have been it. Maybe like Candy Shop or something.
All right. There we go. All connects, right? All connects. All right, my friend. We have arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And Therese, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I choose people every day that I like to inspire. Right now, I think it's my boyfriend who's closest. Not saying he's acquired it yet, but every now and then he would pick up my advice.
So you are not married. You do have your boyfriend. Do you have children?
No. Not
Do
yet.
you believe in God?
I don't believe in God, but I definitely believe in spirituality and that we may have some kind of goddess version of ourselves inside of ourselves.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do, but I've traveled a lot and moved around a lot, so it's sometimes hard to stay close to friends, but I do have an inner circle of friends that I'm never going to let go of.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
I never watch TV.
Wow. What about screen time? The phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Well, I must say that it's more than 8. Actually, this is, I hate to say this, I'm actually allergic to electricity, and it's a thing. You can Google it. But I still have to be on my computer and my phone basically all day due to my work and what I do. So it's more than 8 hours a day.
All right. It's funny. Like I just came off of my accountability group meeting, and I wouldn't say her name, but she's going to do something called the Tough Mudder, and it's like MUDDA, and she was saying that they actually shock you, like while you're going through the mud, right? I'm guessing
wow.
that wouldn't do good with you, right?
Oh no, definitely not. I'm not gonna try that. Maybe it will do good. I don't know. Maybe it should.
Yeah, but that is just funny how things connect. All right, my friend. So after having 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with a workbook. The name of it is called Yours, Your Own Unique Real Self. And my idea is as you answer the questions and you go through that, you uncover your mission, your own unique real statement. And Therese, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
I would say, even though some people might hate hearing this, but you are who you chose to be. And you can always create your own reality, or someone else will create it for you.
Love it. And Therese, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, I do have a tattoo on the inside of my arm, and it's a song from Bruce Springsteen, and it says, "You cannot start a fire without a spark." And that's basically how I've decided to live my life. And you can be a dreamer as much as you want, but if you never become a doer, nothing's going to happen. So have some just set some spark to that fire. Start something out and see where it'll take you.
Love it. And Therese Bengtsson, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.